It is Super Draco 380 here. We're back for stage 43 of Build the Battleship Bismarck. Today we're doing the Admiral's Bridge. So we're going to bring in our parts. As you can see, we've got some clear windows, some platforms, some sprues. And this is going to be an involved one. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be assembling and fitting the gratings. So these parts are labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. So basically parts 1 and 2 and parts 3 and 4 will be attached together. Just turn up the lights just a little bit and we'll cut these from the sprue. So we have the 3 small holes, and the small platform is going to mount into those 3 holes. So we'll drop some glue into the holes. Now because there's only 3, as long as you've got the right piece, there's only one way it's going to fit into those 3 holes. And that's the first grating. And there's the second. So next we're going to fit both gratings onto the Admiral's Bridge that came in this pack. So they're going to fit into those rectangular tabs. You want the curved end pointing away from the round piece of the deck. So that one's going to go on the port side. There we go. Alright, next we're going to be attaching a label to the LED on the included in this pack. Alright, so next we're going to take the LED and we're going to insert it into the Admiral's Bridge window piece. So you want to make sure that it's in the right orientation, and in the picture you want the black wire on the right and the red on the left. So then next we're going to cut out the it's labeled part number 1, and that's going to go, we're going to flip the window upside down, and then that's going to screw in with 2 PWB screws. Now maybe it's me, but my cover is sitting a little bit crooked. I don't know if that's all of them or if it's just mine. So next we're going to take parts 3 and 4 from this sprue, and those are going to form the sides of the bridge around the windows. So the pieces are just the windows will just peg into the openings in the piece. Now I've actually got it on upside down right here, so I will correct that later. Well, it's upside down and reversed. Then you're going to take part number 2 off the sprue, and that's going to attach to the front. I kind of fast forwarded through. I had mold flashing that wasn't letting it connect properly. Now I may have taken it out or I may have just fast forwarded through. I hadn't decided yet. So we're going to apply glue to these top 3 pegs. And then we're going to fit part 43-06, this upper deck plating on top. Now, because I was having some issues getting it to fit due to the mold flashing, which it's still having a little bit of, I'm just clamping it down until the glue sets and it'll hold itself in. Now, I did, after this pack, do some more adjustments to the fit and finish. Alright, so next we're going to be assembling the Admiral's Bridge, so we're going to bring in these photoreal parts, and first up we're going to need number 1. Number 1 is on that small section by itself, so I'm going to punch that out real quick and then we'll start what we're doing with it. Alright, with railing number 1 removed, railing number 1 has to be bent in a highly specific pattern. So if you look along the railing, there's actually indents cut into it to tell you where you want to bend this. And I'm trying to get those on camera, but it's really not wanting to focus. There we go, because you can see those 6 indents in the very dead middle. So you want to take that using the straight edge, and I'm using my duck nose pliers just so I have a perfect 90-degree edge. and we're going to bend it against using those notches as a guide. But now that I've got the first one, the second one should be a little bit easier. So I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to finish it by hand. Now obviously mine got a little warped coming off the sprue, but I'm not super concerned about that because we're going to be bending it more. There's 2 more notches right at the second supports, and we're going to bend those outward at a 90-degree angle. And then there's 1 more notch at each end, and we're going to bend that in maybe 30 degrees. Now I know I'm off frame with this, but I wanted to make sure I had good vision on it. Because you don't need to bend it a whole lot, just a little bit. And there we go. So that's going to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs that are going to go in 6 holes at the front of the Admiral's deck. And then the other good thing is if your bends aren't quite perfect, you can actually use the holes to fit it into the proper shape. So with this, you're going to drop glue into each of the holes. And I was incorrect. I believe it's only 4 pegs and not 6. So as you get them each pegged in, you can use the other pegs to correct the shape. And there we go. And that's the first one, and I'm going to admit this step was one of the things that genuinely had me nervous building the Bismarck. Next, we're going to need part number 2. Part number 2 is in the spot directly below number 1. Okay, and so with this part, we're going to be bending it at the notches again. So we're going to bend that end 90 degrees. Now I'm just examining the notches to make sure I get the bend pattern correct. Now I'm taking my time with this, being very careful about where I bend and move it, because these parts, once bent, you're not going to ever get them unbent if you make a mistake. So then, basically, after the second vertical support, there's a point where you're going to bend it 90 degrees opposite the direction you bent the other one. But before I did that, I decided to go ahead and do the end, because the end you make 2 90-degree bends to create another walkway. So then we're going to put that bend there, and then we're going to put glue in the corresponding sockets and attach that one on. So we're going to do a quick test fit. And not too bad, all things considered, since this is something I've never actually done before. So we're going to drop the glue into the, looks like 3 holes. And as we get each subsequent peg in, it'll help us correct the shape of it. And there we go, that's the second. So since we've done, since this one is a mirror of the other one, we'll probably jump ahead to me having it installed. Alright, and there we go. That is the 2 sections fitted together. Now I'm not gonna lie, I cut a bunch out because I struggled quite hard, and it's probably for the best I just cut that out. But in the end, it's worth it because look at the detail on all this. Now, I made more adjustments and tweaks to this after the video ended. because it's just easier when I don't have the camera in front of me to do some of the more difficult stuff. Now I'm just applying some glue to that seam right there because it keeps popping apart. I'm just holding it till the glue sets a little bit. So then we're going to take 43-02, which is labeled as the signalman shelter. That's going to go at the base of the I guess that's the mast or the smokestack tower or something. So we're going to put some glue on it, and it's going to fit into those two rectangular slots on the deck. And since it's shaped, it's only going to fit one way. So then we're going to take the shelter 43-03, and that's going to go on top of 43-02. So we see two rectangular slots, and due to the angle and whatnot, it only fits one way. So drop some glue. And there we go. And that is everything in stage 43. That was a difficult one, I'm not going to lie. And like I said, I cut a lot out because I struggled quite a bit. So anyway, if you made it all the way to this far into the video, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll be back next time for stage 44, the upper mast deck.